Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name's Kirsty, aka Beth Bookish, and this is my TBRGate reading wrap up for January of 2025. If you have been watching any of my wrap-ups or TBRs in the last couple of months, you'll see that I've been playing two games that my partner Ren created on their YouTube channel and I wanted to play while I was here in Australia. So in December, I did the Demon Trap game and I also played the TBRGate game, but I didn't do a full game of the TBRGate. Instead, what I did was I just used the character cards. And I chose those because there were a lot of cards and also each one had 2 prompts, so I just wanted to do that to give myself a little bit more easy of a time. But then in January I decided that I was going to do the episode cards and I agreed with Ren that I would watch the episodes that I draw. Ironically / hilariously, and I could not have done it if I'd have tried, I ended up pulling the very first episode as the very first card. And I was like, God damn it. The universe clearly is also telling me that I need to watch this. So I haven't yet started the book. I can't even remember what did I, oh yeah. So the first one is I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. I'm starting this today. I'm gonna try and get it done today, which means that at some point in the next couple of days, I also need to watch the first episode of Stargate. I feel like this vlog is probably going to be a bit shorter, hopefully, and have less reads, because obviously with the character cards, I was just reading the manga, getting the next character, reading the manga, getting it, and there was like one day I did 5 in a day. Whereas with this one, because I'm having to stop and watch the TV show and we can only do that at certain times in the day, it's going to be a much slower progress. My hope is to try and get 5 done. I would like to get more, but a minimum of 5 is going to get done. But I'm going to get started with this one and I should be back very soon with my first update and hopefully I will have watched the first episode by that point as well. Wish me luck. Ren is staring at me and it's really like, oh no, they're both staring at me. We have Max staying with us for a couple of days and they're both just staring at me while I film this.
Gotta give you those horror vibes.
Yeah, like I didn't even see you move.
It's a skill.
I'm giving this 3 stars. I thought it was kind of average. It wasn't my favorite, but it also wasn't my least favorite. It was fine. I thought it was cute. I really liked the dynamics between these two, but when I've looked at reviews and stuff, I kind of agree that it feels way less sort of boy love romance and more just sort of friendship bromance kind of thing. So I'm going to see how it goes, but I did think it was really cute. I loved the, I can't even remember his name, that's how well it went into my brain. But I loved the actor and I thought he was really sweet and I love how he's just got this quiet supporter. And apart from like one guy who was kind of like, oh, you need to lose weight, it was refreshing to see that no one really made those kind of comments apart from that one guy. And that he himself was just like, yeah, I'm chubby, I'm fat. I'm not going to change myself to fit everybody's like perspective of what an actor should be. And could you stop, please?
No.
And so I really liked that. And yeah, it was very kind of middle of the road. Is it one that I think I'm going to remember? No, but I am going to read the second one considering it is only a 2-parter. But it means that obviously, and I've watched the first episode, well technically the first 2 episodes of Stargate Atlantis, and woo! As I said to Ren, it's not one that I'm like chomping at the bit to carry on and get to, but it's not put me off, so I will watch the next one. That whatever it is I draw, I will watch that episode. But I'm like, it's fine, I guess. It had Robert Patrick in though. I was very excited to see that, but he was only in it for those couple of episodes, which made me very sad. I would have kept watching it for him. So yeah, I did just pick up the episodes. So okay, let's do a little shiffy shuffle. And our next episode is going to be, if it's 1-2, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Nope. 2 times 3 runner.
This is where you get Jason Momoa.
New to you author. Okay. I was like picking and looking at the shelf, and then Ren just pointed at one that they read a couple of weeks ago and really enjoyed. So loved. All of these tabs are just like the final few chapters, and these were all like Ren's.
Just squealing like, oh my god, it's so cute.
And that is Old Fashioned Cupcake, which is a boy love manga. So it's got this 39-year-old who he ends up meeting like a younger subordinate at work, and they end up taking each other on dates and doing what girls do, and then eventually a romance occurs. Looks interesting. Let's see how we get on. It is time for an update. Did I forget to bring the cards? Probably. Nope, they're there. Okay, sorry, I'm here. I have an update on Old Fashioned Cupcake. I haven't yet run it through Core Pile, but I already know this one's gonna be a 4 or a 4.5 stars. Every time I shut this door, Chopper keeps pushing it open. I love you so much, but you're a pain. This one was a boy love romance with a 39-year-old who ends up going on these like dates with his 29-year-old co-worker, and it doesn't take long to realize that the 29-year-old is actually in love with the older one, and that he's kind of agreed to do this because he wants to get closer, and then eventually a romance blossoms between the two, and it was beautifully written. It had some kind of jumping around moments where things didn't always make logical sense, and certain things felt rushed. Like, we saw 2 of the dates and then they kept making plans to do a date, and then we didn't actually then see that date happening. We just kind of got told afterwards that it happened, and I was like, I would have liked more of those moments. I felt this could have been a 2 or 3 book series to really develop that, and I felt some of the emotions came a bit quick, but again, that is just one of the kind of given things with male-male romances. I will say though, this was not one that fell to the sacrificing plot to get to the smut as fast as possible. I'm very happy to say that there was like the teeniest little bit of smut in there, and the rest of it was completely about their relationship and watching it build over time, which I was extraordinarily grateful for. I did end up really enjoying it. It did make me tear up in a couple of points. I could see why Ren was squealing. I didn't quite have the same squeals as them, and I also didn't sort of have the gushy mushy smiles and like awws at the same points, because they've obviously tabbed bits. I had different bits where I was reacting, and I was reacting much earlier on as well. And I did have a great time. I really liked the art style. Both of us were critiquing the front because their body proportions just seemed a little weird, especially with how long his torso was. It was like, this seems a bit weird. Once you actually get into the story, it wasn't an issue, and I really did like the art style in this, and I felt it was a really solid standalone, and traditionally I don't enjoy standalones, so that was definitely one that I really did get on with. I also have an update in that it is now the 21st of January. I leave in 9 days. I've been putting off on this because it meant watching the episodes, and after re-evaluating and thinking about those first 2 episodes, I have realised I'm really not interested. And even though I enjoyed them, they were fine. Even while I was watching them, I was getting distracted and struggling to stay focused. So I have decided I am not going to watch the episodes. I am just going to read the manga and pick the next card, because I don't really have time to be sitting watching TV right now, especially as I've still got a lot of books and graphic novels I would like to try and get at least started before I leave. Let's draw our next episode card, which, like I said, at least now the episode itself is no longer valid as I'm not going to be doing the episodes, but I still want to follow the prompts for my next read, and our episode card is going to be absolutely perfect. I already know exactly what I'm going to pick. Love Me for Who I Am, Volume 2. This is following a group of high schoolers who work in this cafe where originally it was advertised as specifically a boys dressing up as maids and acting like girls cafe. However, a new maid has joined, who is this character Magumo, and they are non-binary. And not only does everyone working in the cafe not really understand, and it's a new concept to them, they themselves have also been sort of having some issues with like struggling to connect with friends and find people that understand them. And then one of their schoolmates sees them making a wish saying, "I wish I had friends who understand," and he approaches them and is like, "Hey, I think you would fit in really well working in our cafe," because he says his brother, but his brother is female presenting and calls herself female. So it is a bit difficult one. I'm not really sure just yet exactly. But he's like, "Hey, my sibling has this cafe and owns it and runs it for people like you," because he's mistakenly thought that Megumo is a male who wants to dress as a female and wishes that he was a female, when in fact they are non-binary. But as soon as Megumo explains what's going on, he immediately changes his language and accepts them. There is even a start of he's starting to show feelings, and Megumo is also showing feelings. The biggest problem is Megumo's childhood friend, who on the surface is extraordinarily accepting, uses the correct pronouns, is a sweet and wonderful girl. Only when she hears that Megumo may have a boyfriend, she becomes incredibly jealous, attacks the love interest, and immediately misgenders, saying, "Well, you two can't be together, you're both men," and we realise that she is actually not a very good person at all, so that's going to add some conflict there. So there's a lot in here. There's a lot of cast of characters who all have their own reasons for joining the cafe, and none of them have the same stories, which is really wonderful. So yeah, we're gonna move on and do volume 2 of this, and hopefully I'll be done with this very soon and I can update you and move on to something else very soon. It is too warm for me to turn the fan off, so I apologise. You're going to hear it in the aircon above my head, but I don't care. Love Me For Who I Am Volume 2 I finished today, and the character I hated in the first one I now hate even more, because we've now got an understanding of her reasonings for her behaviour, but it actually makes the way her behaviour is even more abhorrent. And I'm not going to say why, because spoilers, but I was like, that's a you thing. Why are you punishing other people, and why are you being the way you are? And she ends up really hurting her best friend because she's just got this thing, she hates guys completely. And there's one point where Megumo goes to take her hand and she recoils, and obviously that hurts Megumo, because Megumo's like, well, she's never treated me like that. Then Megumo's like, well, does that mean that she thinks I'm a boy when she knows I'm non-binary? And that puts them into a bit of a spiral. But there was, aside from her being an absolute bitch who I do not like and I feel like should not be redeemed, but probably will, I absolutely loved everything else in this. There were so many cute, wholesome moments with the characters and the cafe where they're getting ready for their summer menu. And so they've got like a change in uniform, and for Megumo, it was a moment where they could express what kind of clothing they wanted to wear. And it got them thinking about, do I really want to dress more femininely, or is it that I think I should because I want people to think that I'm a girl rather than a boy? And how do I express my non-binary ness, I guess? How do I show that? And it was really great seeing their journey into discovering what they like about themselves, and the relationship between, is it Tetsu? Tetsu. Like, their little budding relationship was just the cutest thing ever. And I loved all the support of everyone around them. And I love how Tetsu had this little moment, because in the first book I didn't like the fact that he kept referring as to his older brother, when throughout the book she was saying that she was trans and wanted to be a girl. But then in this one he was like, I should start calling you my older sister. And he calls her big sister, leaves the house, and she's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like so excited. And again, that was just so beautifully done. So yeah, I do have issues with, like I said, one of the main characters in this, which is actually this one on the cover, and I'm like, yeah, you cry because you deserve it. Like, I do sympathise with some of her thoughts, I do sympathise with some of her feelings, but the way she goes about treating other people as a result of that is disgusting. and I don't like that, and I'm hoping that that gets called out very soon. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. Like, it didn't hit me in the way the first one did, but I did still have a great time. So this one's gonna be 4 stars. It means that I've got another episode to draw, but I don't know where I put the cards. That's always helpful when I don't know where the cards are. One day I will start filming when I'm fully prepared. Oh, no, that's not anything. That's the stuff my nephew's bought me. Sorry, editing me, but you know what we're like. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop the recording. So Ren had picked them up so they could film their TBR. That's why I couldn't find them, because they weren't on the desk. So our next book is gonna be... not this one, because I'm trying to read books I haven't read, so we are not doing a reread. Okay. Bookish goal, we're going to read a manga, which means I'm going to do volume 3 of Love Me For Who I Am for that, because that's obviously going towards my 175 manga goal. That's run out of battery storage, so I'm going to go. Another 4.5. This one, the character that I've been not liking very much, we finally got some more insight for her. She finally kind of went through like a revelation. A group of them attend this LGBT plus festival, and she kind of has this big moment of, you know, I'm not as much of an outsider as I thought I was. I still don't like her very much, but I thought it was really lovely that she had that moment and that realization about herself. And with Megumo finally saying something to her, being like, okay, you've got to stop substituting me for a girlfriend when I am not a girl, but I'm also not a boy. You need to stop. And that was fantastic that they finally were like, enough, I'm done. And yeah, there was just a lot of really beautiful moments with characters. There was Tetsu, who was a bit unsure about how to tell his best friends about Megumo and his sister, but he did, and they were amazing. I can see there's going to be some conflict in the next one though, because right at the very end, Megumo's younger sister turns up and immediately misgenders. So whether or not it's because she doesn't know or refuses to do it, I guess we'll find out. So that's another one done, and I only have 2 more in this series, and I'm here for like just under 24 hours longer. So we just got to pray that the next episode card, like, I could be like, oh, that was my last card and I'm not going to do any more, and I'm going to do the other 2 just as extras, and you can see that in the wrap up. But I feel like that's a cop-out and a bit of a cheat. So we're going to find the cards, because yet again I've put them down and they've walked off. Found the episode cards. And today's episode is going to be... please be nice. Ooh! It was nice! Because these are, in fact, contemporaries. Yes.
Vegas.
Uh-huh. Nice.
I love that I knew that.
That was awesome. The last card's going to be a bitch now, isn't it? Right, let's go get that so we can try and get the series finished. Okay, it's like an hour later. I'm currently editing, so these are staying in. But, oh my god, the ending of this one, I did not see that coming. So I was right in my theories about Megumo's sister, that she is deliberately misgendering, but I feel like it's not because she wants to. When we get to meet Megumo's parents, their mum is suffering with severe depression to the point that she is basically non-functional. She just lies on the sofa all day, does nothing, and can barely get herself out of bed in the morning, kind of thing. The dad is out all day because he no longer wants Megumo under the roof, but he's also just been transferred. It's a further commute. He's also trying to do extra hours because he's paying for Megumo for where they're currently living, because it's like, you know, he doesn't want Megumo under the roof, but he also doesn't want them to just be out in the wild. But he's refusing to even acknowledge the fact that Megumo is non-binary. Whenever Sakura tries to talk about Megumo as anything other than a boy, he's very verbally aggressive towards her. And he just basically has no time or patience for either of his children. And as soon, he's basically pushed Sakura to give up her absolute favourite thing, which is soccer, because he sees it as being boyish. And then she cut her hair to make it easier when she was running around the field. And he absolutely flipped out and was like, you are not a boy, how dare you, all of this. and he's basically boys are boys, girls are girls, and I will not accept anything other than that. And that's kind of messed her up to the point that she's got a lot of mental health issues as well now, and it accumulated in the final of the book. I'm not going to say what happened, but it accumulated in something that I was like, oh my god, and has ended on a bit of a cliffhanger for this final volume. Hey.
I was gonna immediately walk in here and be like, guess who ate poop again? But then I realised you were feeling excited.
Literally as I was talking about the ending of this as well. You are such a disgusting creature. Would you stop eating poop? Anyway, so yeah, this super dramatic, super climatic things happened, and it's now left us on a bit of a cliffhanger. So yeah, we didn't get as much with the rest of the cafe stuff, but what we did get was them planning out Halloween costumes, and Ten-chan, who's like the costume designer and the cosplayer of the group, he was so excited taking them all because they were all like, we want to be involved in our costumes, we don't just want you to do them all for us like you normally do. And he gets all excited. So there was a couple of really sweet bonding moments. It was nice to see that when Sakura first turned up, they could all see that something wasn't quite right with Megumo, and there was a really sweet conversation between Tetsu and Megumo where Tetsu was like, it seems like when your sister's around, you kind of become like a puppet and just sort of accept everything she says, even when she's being awful to you. And so that prompted a beautiful conversation, and yeah, this is just such a gorgeous series. But that means I'm hoping this is going to be our final draw for the episode cards. I really need this to be nice.
You know what would be really nice? Watching those episodes.
No, I tried, okay? You gotta be proud that I tried. Okay, I can't look. I can't look. I don't want to look. Is it a nice one? Yes, it's nice, but it's not what I need. Fantasy.
Brotherhood.
Do you know all of these?
My favourite show.
Standalone.
Oh, the Defiant one.
Mental health.
Oh, that shit. No, I don't know the mental health one.
Phantoms.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay, this one I know I can get done very quickly is Garlic and Witch by Brie Paulson. I read Garlic and Vampire last year and I did enjoy it. I think I gave it a 4 or 4.5, so I'm going to get this one done and then that will complete a series, which is also fantastic. I'm assuming this is going to be an actual direct, yeah, it's a direct sequel to the first one. It's not like a standalone sequel kind of companion thing. It's an actual sequel, so I'm looking forward to this. And again, I love the colours. And these good little glow-in-the-dark mushies. Eee! So yeah, looking forward to this. Hi, it's the next morning. Yes, I am wearing the same clothes as I was in all of last night's clips because it's my last day. My flight is in 12 hours. So I just figured until I get changed into my travel clothes, I might as well just stay in my pajamas all day as we're not going anywhere. So yeah, you're just gonna get me in my very unflattering pajamas. But I don't care because I have finished more reading and I still have at least one thing left to read if I can. Garlic and the Witch I have given 4 stars. I think it was a really cute story. I feel like this one actually had more of a point than the first book. The first book kind of, I get that it was about finding bravery and doing things that you're afraid of. But the second one I feel like really draws that home because Garlic, after her adventures with Vampire, she's now friends with him, calls him Count, which is so cute. But she wakes up one morning and realises that she has human hands and is like, what is going on? And it's then revealed that they will eventually that all of the vegetables will eventually become human and that they can then continue on the lineage with the witches. Garlic is freaking out about that, and it's a story about her coming to terms with that and deciding if it is what she wants to do or not. We get more of a understanding of her relationship with Carrot in that I knew they were friends. I thought maybe there was something between the two of them. And then at the end of this one, the pair of them are living together and they're clearly a couple, which I thought was really, really sweet. It's a series where I feel like there's effortless LGBT representation in here People are just queer without it being a big deal or being explained, and I love that queer normativeness. And yeah, I felt this one just had a much clearer plot and storyline to it, and I know they're middle grade, so they're not going to be the most complex thing in the world anyway. Chopper is at the window. Like, why am I in here when you're out there? Let me join you. Chop chop. It's like, new person. I want to eat a new person. Hi. He's so cute. I'm gonna miss him. Tears for later, tears for later. So, yes, I gave this one 4 stars. I thought it was super cute and wholesome. But there's just something about it that just wasn't quite 5-star for me. I don't know what it is. There's just something about this series where they've both been like 4, 4.5, but I've just not fallen in love with them the same way other people have. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the art and I love the characters, but the overall story just isn't for me. But again, I think middle grade, and like I've said, middle grade just isn't for me. And I didn't know these were middle grade, so I picked them up not realizing they were middle grade. But I did want to complete it because this means I think this is my first completed graphic novel series for the year. And this was like manga graphic novel 23 that I completed. So that is an extraordinarily good start for Jan. But anyway, we still have Choppy. I still have to try today and get Love Me For Who I Am Volume 5. So we're gonna draw hopefully our final episode card. Please let this be the final. I've got the stack of episodes here. Please be the final. And we have. Is it showing? Oh, yes! How weird is that? The first book I got for TBRGate was the first in series and the first episode, and now I've got the final book, and this is a final book. The fates were really on my side for this one. That's amazing. Okay, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna get this finished. We're gonna hopefully get a 5-star out of it, but let's go. I finished my last book for TBRGate, which also was last in series, which was hilarious because my last book for TBRGate, I drew the last episode card and the prompt was last in series. So it's like just, and it's my last day in Australia. Wow, just the universe really be saying, be gone, bitch. Alas, was not a 5-star as I was hoping it would be. I did give it 4.5. I just felt conflict specifically with the parents. It felt like it needed more time because it really felt like one shouting match and one conversation was all it took for both of them to change their attitudes. And even though it was lovely to see the mum reveal some stuff that she had learned and then the dad trying to make more of an effort, I felt it was too fast. I felt we needed another volume, like one volume with all of the conflict and then have another volume with like some smaller moments that lead up to the acceptance. I just felt like that part was very rushed. But I absolutely loved Tetsu's unwavering support of Megumo. That was just so beautiful. I loved how Sakura kind of started to also accept that Megumo is not her brother anymore and is in fact non-binary. And you know, there were some really wonderful conversations again in this that I did really appreciate. I just felt some of the like family dynamic stuff resolved far too quickly, and that kind of made it feel, the ending feel a bit rushed for me. And like I said, just could have done with another volume to just flesh everything out a little bit more. I know the author probably didn't want to focus on that kind of conflict, but I feel for a lot of individuals, whether they are trans, non-binary, gay, whatever, I feel like there are enough that do have those struggles that they would appreciate seeing that conflict resolve a little bit more delicately rather than just have like one big fight and then it's all resolved and everyone's trying to be supportive, you know? I just feel it probably is true to life for some people, but I do feel for the majority who have gone through sort of conflicts with parents who don't accept their child, I feel like maybe it would have been better to have just had that take place over a slightly longer period of time, you know? I did love this, and as a series, it's definitely, as Ren said, it's one of their all-time favorites. It's definitely going to be one that I want to now own and I would reread. I don't know if it's going to be an all-time favorite and in like my top ever, but it's definitely one that is a rereadable one and one that I probably would dip in and out of every now and again. I did have a fantastic time, and I think on the whole it's about a 4.5 series. So it's a fantastic series and I definitely recommend reading it. That's that one done, which means that is my TBRGate done. And like I said, in February I'm not doing any TBRGate because obviously I'm not here and I don't have access to the cards and Ren's incredible manga library, but thanks to Ren and that incredible library, in January I completed 25 manga or graphic novels. Only one of them was a graphic novel, I think, or two. So I completed a lot of manga, and I'm gonna check it out, in the 3 months I've been here, I've read 73 manga and graphic novels since I've been here, which is incredible. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of proud of that. A lot of them have ended up becoming favourites. A lot of them were the firsts in series that I'm going to then continue, and then there's still a few that I wanted to get to and I've now taken photos of to try when I get home. For this year I needed to read 75, and the fact that I've read 25 in January alone means even if I read no more manga until May now, I'm still going to be slightly ahead of target. So that's good for me because I don't own a lot of physical manga at the moment because I read them all last year. So it's going to be good for me in that I can now spend sort of February, March replenishing some stock so I can then do another bit of a manga binge later in the year. But yeah, it's been fantastic. I've had a great time, and January this year has been one of I think my best ever reading month for manga and graphic novels because it's like nearly 3,000 pages worth of manga. In terms of TBRGate, that is January complete, and so any extra things I read will be in my regular wrap-up that will come out in the first couple of weeks in February once I'm back home and settled. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and have enjoyed my adventures trying to find books to fit the prompts from Ren's TBR games. Let me know in the comments which of these was your favourite, and have I inspired you to pick any of these manga series up for yourself? In the meantime, I hope you're all good, I hope you're staying safe. Don't forget to check out my Etsy and Patreon, which are always linked below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!